Okay, this will be my third part of the lesson, and then I'm going to do a separate one for the note card. Okay, so here we have 3 terms for the first time, which means our second factor is going to have 3 terms. But you need to find what could divide into all 3 of these terms. So 8, 20, and 12 could all be divided by 2. But there's a larger common factor, which is 4. That's the one you need to use. Do all 3 terms have the x in it? No. So x is not going to be part of the GCF, but they do all have y in it. And the lowest power of y is just y by itself. So the GCF is 4y. And now I'm going to have to divide all 3 terms by 4y in order to get the second factor. Divide all 3 terms by 4y, and I'm going to get 2x plus 5x to the 4th y minus 3. The y's go. So inside parentheses now there'll be 3 terms because there were 3 terms in the original polynomial. 2x plus 4x to the 4th, 5x to the 4th y minus 3. And that's your final answer. The next one, again, 3 terms, so your GCF is going to still be a single term on the outside. 3 divides all the coefficients. They all have an a, but the smallest exponent is just a to the first. They all have a b, so b is going to be in the GCF. The lowest exponent of the b is squared. And then I'm going to take all 3 of the terms and divide it by the 3ab squared. And use divide, keep, subtract to get the 3 terms that are going to be in the second factor. AB minus 5A plus 13, and that's it. The A divided by A will go, and B squared divided by B squared will go. And again, if you put the original trinomial in the calculator and the final answer in the calculator, you'll see that they're equivalent. If you did not get that answer, then most likely the 2 would not be equivalent in the calculator. Okay, now these next 2 examples are not in the homework. It's more leading into what's to come next, more so than the GCF. Don't let it get you too confused. But looking at this as a 2-term expression, both terms have 2 factors. The first one has 2x times x minus 3. The second term is 5 times x minus 3. So what do they both have in common? X minus 3. So I could rewrite that with the x minus 3 just written first. And then if I divide both of those by x minus 3, what I'll have left is going to go in the second parenthesis. So divide this first term by x minus 3. The x minus 3's go. I'm left with 2x. The second group, if I divide it by x minus 3, I'll have plus 5. So that's my final answer. X minus 3 times 2x plus 5. If you want, pause, try the next one on your own before letting me do it with you. The next one, again, if you look at the first term and the second term, they both have the factor x plus 1. If I divide the first term by x plus 1, the x plus 1's go, and I'm left with x. If I divide the second term by x plus 1, the x plus 1's go, and I have minus 4. That's our final answer. So to sum it up, we're going to take a look at a multiple choice question. Okay? Now they give you the area of a rectangle and ask you to rewrite it as the product of the length and the width. That's a fancy way of asking you to factor. Now, you could use the calculator and match which of these examples, which of these choices are equivalent to the original. Now, if you were to try to get the GCF here of x to the 4th and 9y squared, nothing divides into both of them. So you would have to consider other methods, which as of now, we only have one other method. Getting the square root of each, because it's a difference of 2 perfect squares. Again, there's a minus sign, and both terms are perfect squares. The square root of x to the 4th is x squared. The square root of 9y squared is 3y. So my 2 factors will be x squared plus 3y, x squared minus 3y. And again, the order doesn't matter. So looking for my answer, I don't see a choice that looks identical, but this one has the same two factors, x squared minus 3y and x squared plus 3y, just in the opposite order. So that's a review of the difference of two perfect squares from the first part of the lesson that I put up on Friday. So now you're going to do the homework and we'll check that tomorrow. My next note is going to be on the note card.